I just want to let you know that this video, my intro was cut off, so I kind of start off in the middle of a sentence. This is very impromptu, filmed in my car. Hope you guys enjoy. It's a bit different, but it's raw and it's me. Love you guys, and thank you so much for watching this video. Oh, okay, here we go. Well, first off, I just had a crazy vision, and this is all about synchronicities. It's all about our higher selves communicating to us through this matrix. It's all about how the matrix can pick up on our thought forms as well and try to project our thoughts in our reality, making us think that they are, in fact, synchronicities. However, I heard someone talk about this before. And I'm going to shout them out because I just made a video about a comment they left on my video, and this comment was left on the Matrix Unveiled video, and the person is unplugging the matrix. Yeah, pretty sure that's his name. Unplugging the matrix. They like to, it seems like they like to be pretty anonymous, so that's all I'm going to say. But anyways, one time we were talking about synchronicities and stuff on one of the News Live, and they're like, yeah, well, how do you know the synchronicities and all of these things are not actually from the machine? Okay, and I was kind of like, yeah, I get that, right? But you know, there's levels to everything. So like, hold on, all right, so like, how deeply tuned into your intuition, higher self are you, right? The more deeply tuned in you are, the easier you're able to recognize when someone's trying to infiltrate your reality, whether it be synchronicities that the machine picks up on through your thought forms or the collective thought forms that you're seeing. So for example, I was just thinking about Satanism, basically. I was just thinking about Satanism, and I saw this clip of Lady Gaga on the red carpet at some award show so I couldn't see the person she was communicating with, but this other person was dressed in a beautiful gown, another female, same age range, everything. Fucking Lady Gaga, okay, full on does a satanic salute. It's like one of these, like full on like this, and like, I'm gonna put the clip here, okay, so you guys can see it. And I replayed it over and over. Here we go again. That's what happens when I try to film and drive. Don't recommend it. All right, so Lady Gaga did that salute, and it's just like, in reading some of the comments, I totally relate. It's like, they don't even try to hide this shit anymore. It's right in plain sight. People are so asleep that it doesn't fucking matter. You can do it, and then they'll just cover it up. They're like, what? We were just saying what's up. You know, it's just this runaround thing, you know? And so I was kind of just thinking about Satanism. I just talked to my mom about basically how our world is run by reptilians and different interdimensional beings that are stuck on this earth, reincarnating and looping, and using the puppets, using politicians as puppets and all this stuff, and all the families, the Rockefellers, Vanderbilts, all these people. And I was explaining it to her, right? And she totally believes it, right? But there's only so much you can absorb and comprehend actually on a conscious level. But I was talking about the pedophilia rings and just basically everything going on. So, and how they're all Satanists, basically. They all do the satanic rituals and sacrifices and all this. And so, you know, it's obviously like on my mind. And so I just started seeing a bunch of 666s everywhere on the license plates. I realized it was a full moon. And I was like, well, I'm not sure if it's exactly full now, but the moon looks full when you look up at the sky. Like, dude, since yesterday, I've been seeing the 666s. I go unfazed because before I would see those numbers and I'd be like, oh my God, you know, like, what's happening? Something's bad's gonna, no, like, something bad's gonna happen. And I'm like so over all of that fear shit, you know, when it comes to that. And so I was like, I know what's happening. The supercomputer, the super quantum computer running the shit that was taken over, it can pick up on certain frequencies and certain thoughts, not just in the collective, but on an individual. So if you're thinking something low frequency like that, it's going to be able to pick it up because it resonates with its frequency, right? And so that's why I was seeing the 666s, because it wasn't my higher self trying to be like, oh, look, no, you know, and it didn't feel like a warning. It was literally just the machine trying to mess with me. So I was like, I see you. Like, I get what's happening. I don't even think it was so much like the conversation I had with my mom right now, which I know, you know, it was being observed. That conversation I had with her was being observed and witnessed by whatever. But it was just more so these, these other things I was researching and whatnot. So I know, I just wanted to say, yes, synchronicities are usually aligned with your higher self. Okay. You have to decipher that yourself. You have to decode that yourself. So, if you're not living in that fear-based 24/7, it's going to be so much easier for you to recognize your messages from your intuition. Like, it's going to be so much easier for you to recognize the synchronicities for what they are. And like, you don't even have to take them so seriously. Like, I used to take my synchronicities super seriously. Like, I would take pictures of everything. And I still do, but like not the same, because I realize that this is a consistent thing now. It's like when you get to the part of the video game where you're like, I don't know, like let's take like Donkey Kong or something. Let's take an old school video game I used to play. You're like at the part where you're going through all the trees really quick, grabbing those bananas, and it's like, you're not going to stop to like look at each one. You're going through this, we're moving forward. We're constantly moving forward. So it's like, I'm not going to stop out of every single synchronicity and try to dissect it. But in the back of my mind, I'm subconsciously doing this now. Like, I program myself to do this and to understand this now. And so I thought that was pretty interesting. Like, synchronicities are not always supposed to necessarily aligned with your higher self. Sometimes they're synchronicities placed there by the machine. So basically that's a test too. Like, okay, you're going to see it, and how are you going to react? Are you going to feed into it? Are you going to feed it your loosh? Are you going to, have some interdimensional or some entity creeping through the veil trying to scare you? Are you gonna give them a good laugh? Or are you going to just be like, bye? Or are you going to fight? Like, I don't know. There's just so many different ways to look at it, and like, I don't mean to overcomplicate it. I just think it's pretty cool how I can kind of decipher them now. And I can kind of like, because you pick your own battles, like if you're gonna really read into things, it's like, after a while, after you've done the research on these types of things in your life and you've reflected on this so much, you don't necessarily grab on hold to all of them so much, for as long. So I'm like kind of proud of myself about that. Another thing I wanted to talk to you guys about was like, just feeling the sense of like how thin the veil is over us is crazy. Like, it's crazy. When I look at the sky now, it's such a completely different feeling. It's completely different. And I can feel like what's going on the other side. And I see why I have the same lights at night patrolling the skies in my area to a T. Where I know I was just saying I'm not recording everything, but I can't tell you how much video I have of the light beams, spacecrafts that freaking shapeshift into planes, of mechanical elf type of stuff, like all this crazy stuff. Like, I'm learning their patterns, their coordinates. I'm learning the communication with them. Like, I've observed the skies very, very closely. And I was like, for a long time wondering, like, what the hell? Like, I just cannot tell you how many times I said, what the hell is this? Like, that's me trying to really process and figure this out. Because it's very obvious that these objects flying in the sky are also very conscious of who we are. And what I mean is who we are is like conscious beings. Light warriors, light beings, like, they can tell when you're conscious of who they are and what they are. And they'll communicate with you. And I haven't gotten crazy messages decoded from my area since the increase of lights in the sky in the last, I'd say, year. But I communicated with interdimensional beings. I couldn't decipher exactly what species it was. I've communicated with them. I've seen their ginormous spacecrafts, stationed, docked in the skies. And they were all like just patrolling the area. They're literally docked there. And I saw the smaller ones that move around. They're still large, but they're smaller spacecrafts those do zoom around. And then the large ones are literally like their own city in the sky. And they were like dark and gray, very much like Star Wars, I'd say. I've never really watched Star Wars, but when I see those spacecrafts, it was very similar to that. And they were basically just patrolling. They're patrolling. They're up. It's like you go to Mexico and there's a border. And there's like immigration and stuff. And there's border control. patrol, that's exactly what that is in the sky. So I've witnessed that in Los Angeles near LAX. But out here, I see all the tiny ones out here. So my whole theory is like, what is this? What is this? Well, what it is like they're literally seeping through the veil. And you see when they come in, they're this tiny light. It's moving super fast. It's coming from, I've seen so many different types. But basically the first time I saw a shitload of them was on the beach in Orange County. I was with Tanuj, and literally we were out there and we could literally hear the battles going on in the sky. They sound like huge explosions, and the waves kind of cover them up. But when your senses are super heightened and you're able to like make contact in the astrals, like you pick up on it. And I'm like, it was getting freaky because it was getting so loud. There are huge explosions going off. It sounds like choppers in there up in the sky, like all these crazy sounds. I'm like, do you hear that? He's like, yes. I'm like, thank God, because I've been hearing this for a minute, and if no one else is around me, like I would be like, dude, am I really hearing this? You know? He's like, oh, I hear it. I'm like, there's a fucking war going on, and there's always wars going on just on the other side of the veil. And so what these lights are in my area, they're literally patrolling on this side. Since the veil's so thin, they're not only patrolling the humans, so there's different ones. Some of them are patrolling the humans and literally like watching over us, like they're like taking our stats down here. They're monitoring everything. They monitor everything, levels of consciousness, probably the like EMF, probably everything. They know everything that's going on to a science. But I also think that a lot of them are actually kind of just guarding certain areas of the spacecrafts on the other side of the veil that are huge. Because the veil's so thin that they're literally on the other side now guarding it, because it's like such a light barrier now. So the veil really is so thin. And then something just happened yesterday where in the School of Mysticism, they shared a post of, God, what is that video game called? Minecraft, I want to say. I'm not into like these video games, but I'm starting to like really be interested in them because their storylines are crazy. I'm like, a regular human does not make these, they don't make these video games. Like the storylines in these video games are the actual truth of what's happening. It's insane. So in this video clip they shared, there was a scene, they were taking down everything. And all of a sudden, the veil is completely opened and you just see huge spacecrafts in the sky everywhere, people fighting out on the other side of the veil. And I'm like, that's exactly what's happening right now. That's why I'm hearing those explosions sometimes. Sometimes it comes through the veil. And if you're able to reach those levels, those frequencies, and your senses are super tuned and you hear it and you notice these things. I'm like, I don't know how these people are not noticing all of these lights in the sky. And when they do, they just say, oh, it must be a plane. But it's funny because the 3 times I brought it up to people within that same night, they're seeing them. They are seeing them. And they have told me, it's like they knew I knew they were there. It's like they were waiting for me to walk outside my door at that moment. I go, I know that feeling. They're that conscious of the fact that we are aware of them. It's like a ping that goes off to them. They're so intelligent. When you are so quantum, when you are so conscious, you know everything at the same time. And so they're very intelligent beings. Most of them feel like they're high frequency. I can tell the ones that aren't. I've been chased by them to a certain degree. I don't want to say chased, okay? We've messed with each other where it's like, oh, okay, you're totally following me. I'll go maybe 3 lights, 3 blocks. They're still right on me. I've detoured coming into my house and going down maybe 6 blocks, 7 blocks. And yeah, sure enough, I've seen them coming out the same places every single time I leave my house, every single time. And this is always at night. Every single time I'm turning certain streets, because I have a lot of different entry points to my house. I mean, so many. I'm in the city here. So it's just like crazy. And I just got this feeling that can potentially really happen. The veil can literally be lifted and people will freak when they see what is there. they are going to freak. And I'm so glad that I've told my family my truth so that when it happens, they're not going to be like as shocked. I feel like they won't be as shocked. I feel like they'll be like, oh, okay, I remember Leslie kind of mentioning something like this. Because everybody kind of knows. I mean, at least in my life, like everybody kind of knows. They can be Catholic. They can, pray to Jesus every day. But they don't doubt that our country, our world is being run by Satanists. They don't doubt it. They don't doubt that, there's a lot of wrong shit going on in the church. And they don't doubt that there's interdimensional beings and spacecrafts in the sky. They don't doubt any of it. But they just don't process it. They don't really allow themselves to get into that gnosis. And that's okay. We're all on our own path, All I can do is share what I believe to be true and what I am passionate about and what I focus on every single day. I can just share it to them when the timing is right. And that's it. I'm not trying to convert them to believe anything. It's just, I'm just letting them know. Because if this veil were... if the veil were to be shattered, lifted, exposed, ooh, Lordy, because there is traffic in the sky. There's traffic in the sky right now. It's crazy. So, goddamn, I just had this weird vision, and that's why I came on here. Because I just had that weird vision of it actually happening in real life and what it would look like, and the size of who I am in relation to the size of this planet and in relation of like other things. I'm just like, I feel kind of like off now. Like I said, like when I look at the sky, it no longer seems like this huge thing. It feels very like I can touch it. Like it feels very small. It feels like I'm large and it's small. So all these new downloads are coming in, and it actually excites me because I'm like, dude, this shit is not what it seems to be. Planet Earth is not what it seems to be. Poor human beings down here are fucking trying to drown their sorrows. People, we have issues. It's hard to deal in these dense frequencies. I don't blame human beings. It's hard. I get it. They don't make it easy for people. We got a lot of convenient stuff around us. Everything's fast, go, convenient, and easy in that aspect. But for our consciousness to expand, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. Everything that they teach us, everything that, all the propaganda, all the signs, all the billboards, all the lights, all the 5G towers, all the disgusting pollution in the air, all of the frequencies being thrown out, all of the surveillance, all of the mind control, all the brainwashing, all the programming, all the bullshit on social media with dumbasses dancing around. Like, this stuff's crazy. And I'm just like, I'm trying to get myself, I'm just staying out of that, but at the same time, I'm like, I gotta get out of here because this place is crazy. It's just being hit on every fucking level. It's being hit. You literally have to create your own safe space to be non-disturbed by it. You literally have to walk around with your aura fully protected. You literally have to cleanse your aura so many times a day. You literally have to do all the things. You literally have to deprogram yourself all the time. You literally have to catch yourself all the time. You become more intelligent this way. You become more aware this way. But you must maintain your compassion. You must maintain this too. Don't turn your back from humanity or from society 110% like that either. We still have a purpose to serve to those around us. So just, all I can do is just keep holding my light. And I've learned this lesson myself too. Like, I have to be kinder again. Like, I used to be the sweetest girl, and just really try to focus on being kind, super extra kind to everyone. But that's my superpower, and I can't let that go either. I can't just ignore everyone around me. So I'm still going to smile to the people who I see light in their eyes, and I'm still going to try to be the best person I can. And if that veil ever drops, people say it's not going to happen because humanity can't handle it. But at the rate things are going right now, I don't fucking know. I guess I just saw this post on Joe Rogan, his Instagram, and it was something about some supercomputer calculating the end of civilization, the end of humanity. And like, our civilization here is going to end in 2040, I believe. And then there was someone else that predicted 2060. So I'll put that post here right now so you guys can see it as well. And I'm like, yep, well, that's what it feels like. That's exactly what all of this feels like. It is the apocalypse, the lifting of the veil. fuck. It's, you know, it's right. We've already known this though. Like, that's the thing. Like, we have already known this for a minute, but it just becomes more and more real. It becomes more and more real as we become more and more lucid. Anyways, you guys, I just wanted to share that quick rant with you guys. This shit's getting so real, and I'm so grateful to have a community here at the Spiritual Hangout and at the School of Mysticism. I'm so grateful to everyone there. Oh my God, you guys, we are so fucking talking about stuff that actually matters there. So join the School of Mysticism. I have my course there. If you join my course, Deprogram Your Shadow, you will have instant access to the school's main dashboard, and we are having crazy conversations, uncensored. Think like the BitChute of Facebook, you know, except it's completely private, and it's an awesome space, you guys. That's all I can say. We're talking about real stuff there, and people are not going to think you're like, what? You know, like you're nuts. No, people get it. You're going to learn when you're there. You're going to expand your consciousness there. And in my course, it's all about deprogramming yourself from this fucking AI system. Because it's smart, but it's not smarter than you. And by focusing on your consciousness, and you're going to see it happening. You're going to notice the programs around you so much. You're going to navigate this video game a lot more flawlessly. All right, you guys. Love you. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Sending you guys lots of love.